The war between Israel and Hamas continues as much-needed aid is sent to Gaza.
With Jim Jordan out of the House Speaker race, the search continues.
I'm here at the Library Mall where UNT is kicking off homecoming week. Stay tuned for more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Grace Escobar.
And I'm Carla Castillo. The death toll in Gaza has now risen to over 5,000 with no ceasefire in sight, according to latest information from the UN. As casualties in Gaza continue to rise, increasing clashes along the Lebanese border are sparking concerns about a potential wider conflict. Israel is advising more northern civilians to evacuate as the United States ramps up its military support and urges Israel to delay any ground incursion into Gaza. We are now seeing more pro-Palestinian demonstrations in Western countries. CNN's Mike Valerio has more on the Israel and Hamas war.
Heightened hostilities along Israel's northern border with Lebanon.
Fighting a war on two different borders is going to be something we should keep our eyes on, and we should send the message to Hezbollah, stand down, or there will be consequences.
The influence of Iran-backed Hezbollah in South Lebanon is raising concerns of a potentially broader conflict. Israel now urging more northern residents to evacuate their homes.
We encourage them at every opportunity, John, to make sure that we are accounting for those civilians that are in the battle space.
The situation triggering a surge in military support from the United States as additional missile defense systems are dispatched and some 2,000 U.S. troops are put on standby for potential deployment. The Biden administration has proposed an additional $100 billion in foreign aid. That would include $14 billion to assist Israel, which has drawn criticism from some members of Congress.
We need to have a single focus on bringing Congress together behind the support for Israel.
As questions arise regarding what actions the U.S. should take to support Israel and mitigate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, pro-Palestinian demonstrations continue in Western countries. President Biden taking to social media Sunday morning with a message that reads, quote, Israelis and Palestinians equally deserve to live in safety, dignity, and peace. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
As the war between Israel and Hamas rages on and Palestinian civilians are left with nowhere to go, they are in desperate need of aid.
There are 2.3 million people who are lacking basic life support, including food, water, medicine, and medical supplies for the hospitals, and above all, the fuel, which runs the water and runs the hospital machines to keep people alive and to treat the wounded. It is a catastrophe. It is not a catastrophe that we will see in a few days. No, today it is a catastrophe.
Head of the public relations at the Palestinian Crossing Authority said the Egyptian gate is now being opened in preparation for the entry of 14 trucks of food and medicine from the UNRWA and Red Crescent Agency. Yesterday, 15 trucks moved into the border area from the Egyptian side. These would have been offloaded and eventually loaded onto trucks from Gaza, who would have then moved the aid into Gaza Strip.
And the weather is nice coming into the studio today, but I'm not sure if that nice weather is here to stay.
Yes, I am not looking forward to any storms that we might have this week. Sydney Johnson has the forecast. Sydney?
Good afternoon and happy homecoming week. Really quickly, we're going to take a look at our current cost is about around 79. It is a nine, and our thunderstorms with 79, I believe. Looking at wind speeds of about 15 miles per hour.
The House Republicans are still looking for a new Speaker of the House. They are expected to hold a candidate forum tonight to find the successor of Kevin McCarthy, who was forced out earlier this month. Until a new Speaker is voted in, the House is stuck in a stalemate. CNN's John Loring has the story.
20 days and counting since Representative Kevin McCarthy was kicked out as Speaker of the House.
This is embarrassing for the Republican Party. It's embarrassing for the nation, and we need to look at one another and solve the problem.
Rep. Jim Jordan of Ohio exited the race for Speaker Friday after 3 failed bids. Since then, numerous Republicans have thrown their hats into the political ring, including Representatives Tom Emmer, Pete Sessions, Kevin Hern, Jack Bergman, Austin Scott, Byron Donalds, Mike Johnson, Dan Muser, and Gary Palmer.
Congress is like high school, but even more so. So hopefully we'll get past this.
The House of Representatives is basically at a standstill until a new speaker is confirmed. That means no legislation can pass, like policy bills and government funding bills. And if something isn't resolved by November 17th, the U.S. is going to go broke.
This deadline for government funding will be on top of us before we know it. So it really would behoove the Republicans to get a speaker this week and get in the game.
Democrats in the House say teamwork between Republicans and Democrats is needed to get back on track.
The only way to do it is to figure out how we can partner in a bipartisan fashion to reopen the House and govern in a reasonable, common sense way.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is increasing his effort to prevent migrants from crossing into Texas. Abbott has ordered the National Guard to put up more concertina wire on the border between Texas and New Mexico. A New Mexico Democratic Congressman, Gabe Vasquez, called Abbott's actions unconstitutional. Vasquez believes the new barriers will affect his community. A spokesperson for the National Guard defended the action, claiming it is important to block migrants entering New Mexico illegally and then crossing into Texas. The National Guard remains committed to preventing any criminal activity and illegal immigration along the border.
Find out about this Texas bill that would greatly increase college research funding.
And you might be in trouble this winter if you aren't a fan of the cold.
Did you remember to register to vote? Early voting began today at 8 a.m. Voting booths can be found at the Denton Civic Center, County Elections Administration Building, MLK Junior Recreation Center, North Branch Library, Robson Ranch Creative Arts Center, South Branch Library, and the UNT Gateway Center. Voting locations will be open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. this week, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. next week. For more information, it's available at votedenton.com.
If you have registered to vote, then you must learn about Proposition 5. If Texas voters pass Prop 5, then the University of North Texas could earn at least $22 million in research funding. In addition to UNT, this bill would also give Texas State University, Texas Tech University, and the University of Houston access to the state's $3.9 billion permanent endowment. For the past 147 years, only Texas A&M and the University of Texas have benefited from the $30 billion Permanent University Fund, so it's time to divide that money up. The 4 schools serve more than 160,000 students and are all Carnegie Tier 1 research institutions, meaning the money will not go to waste. UNT stated additional funding would make getting a college education available to more Texas students. Even if you don't attend one of these schools, passing Proposition 5 would have material benefits to all Texans.
Federal forecaster released an outlook Thursday that is pointing to a classic El Niño winter, but there is the potential for a few wildcards. CNN's Karen Kaifa is in Washington to share where we might be seeing snow or sunshine.
Winter will be wetter and warmer in parts of the U.S. thanks to El Niño, a natural ocean and weather pattern in the tropical Pacific.
What typically can happen in those cases is that the U.S. And Alaska is impacted by much more air of Pacific Ocean origin, which is generally warmer.
That forecast according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. But John Gottschalk of NOAA's Climate Prediction Center says you should still unpack the winter coats.
There will be certainly periods of below normal temperatures. There'll be those Arctic outbreaks. What we're saying basically is more that there may be less of them and of shorter duration potentially this year.
And the snow boots. El Niño brings the potential for more precipitation, especially in the northeast where it could deliver 2 or 3 major snowstorms. And above average precipitation as rain, snow, or icy mix that's forecast from the plains to the southwest could be welcomed after a summer of extreme drought.
Overall, it could be very much a needed benefit relief for the drought conditions that are occurring in those areas.
Looking back on hallmarks of recent El Niño winters, the 2018-19 season saw the wettest winter on record for the U.S. mainland, according to NOAA, and a very strong El Niño during the 2015-16 winter contributed to the warmest winter on record for the U.S. mainland. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Carla, this week is warm and rainy, a combination I do not enjoy.
For sure, and I'm gonna have to remember to bring an umbrella to class every day this week. Sydney, what's the forecast looking like?
Ladies, you are right. Most of our major cities in the North Texas area is staying pretty solid in the mid to low 70s. We do have high humidity levels and a possibility of thunderstorms and showers scattered across the area. As you can see, most of us are sitting in generally the same area. We have Graham, Denton at 75, Fort Worth at 76, Dallas, McKinney at 74, and Gainesville, Sherman, and Bowie around 72, 73. Really quickly, let's take a look at our regional weather across the state. Most of our temperatures are remaining stable, still in the mid-70s area right in the center of Texas. But as you can see out on the outskirts, Amarillo and El Paso are coming up a little bit cooler, around 67, 65. And we have Houston down here pretty warm still by that water at 81. Really quickly, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. So if you guys plan on participating in any of the homecoming festivities, please make sure you bring an umbrella, a raincoat, or one of our emergency ponchos that they sell at the bookstore. That might come in handy. Tuesday, it looks like our high is around 80. Our low is 69. We do have high % chances of rain on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The weekend looks like it shows a chance of rain. It will be mostly cloudy for majority of the week, and on Monday those temperatures are going to plummet back down, so please make sure you guys dress appropriately. That's all I have for full weather. Thank you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Sydney. Carla, do you like country fried steak?
Yes, it's one of my favorites.
Well, then you are in luck because our segment anchor, Macy Terry, may have the place for you. Macy?
That was good. No, I like that because you didn't have a paper. I like how it looked just the microphone. It looked way better.
I thought it was too close because I heard something.
I recorded a piece.
In 2011, Cartwright's Ranch House opened up right on Dayton Square.
It's kind of a country, ranchy type situation, but I wanted a place where I could serve home-style food that your grandmother loves and cooked for you when you were a kid. Chicken fried steak, burgers, sandwiches. We have breakfast all day long.
The food at Cartwright's is what makes this place so memorable and a favorite to many locals.
We have a lot of favorites. Chicken fried steak by far is our #1 item. hamburgers are outstanding. I don't know, our hamburgers really don't get the love like our chicken fried steak does. But we serve breakfast all day. We serve a ton of what we call the wider, and it's 2 eggs, 2 bacon, 2 sausage, order hash browns, and 2 buttermilk pancakes. So
On top of the great food, the service here is amazing, making sure everyone feels like family.
the service here is the best on Square. I back it up 110%. I'm very proud of my staff. All the success that we've had here at Cartwright's is due to my back of the house and my front of the house staff.
Sorry about those technical difficulties, but anyway, that food was amazing. I'll have to go back and try that chicken fried steak. But that's all I have. Back to y'all at the desk.
Are you interested in sustainability and want to make a difference? Then these UNT programs will definitely interest you.
And do you have any plans for UNT Homecoming Week? Find out which fun events are taking place here on campus.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Within the UNT campus are sustainability projects such as the community garden and food pantry. These projects are made possible through the efforts of the We Mean Green Fund. Sustainability projects organized by the We Mean Green Fund.
The We Mean Green Fund is the $5 environmental service fee that every student pays with their tuition and fees each semester. And what we do with that is we put that back into sustainability projects on campus.
On top of projects around campus, the organization
Homecoming Week has officially kick-started here at UNT, which means all the fun events have officially begun and will be going on until Saturday. We begin with the UNT Homecoming Picnic today that will end at 1 p.m. Now, if you can't make it to the picnic but would still like to participate, Wednesday there will be a service event for you to give back. Now, the best part of Homecoming Week for many students is the bonfire, which will be this Thursday night at 8 p.m. at the North Lot of DATCA Stadium. These are just a few of the many events that will be happening this week. But if you want to know more, feel free to visit the UNT Homecoming website. And with Homecoming less than a week away, our live shot reporter Paisley McGee is at the scene reporting on the fun festivities leading up to the big game. Paisley?
Thank you, Carla. A little rain is not going to stop the Means Greens from celebrating Homecoming Week. Here at the Library Mall from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Homecoming Picnic is happening. As you can see behind me, there was a little bit of dancing going on, but there's vendors selling jewelry, there's giving away hats and shirts and a lot of different free things that students can get. They're also having free food that students can get when they bring their student ID. So there's a lot of fun happening here, and I hope to see you here. I'm Paisley McGee signing out. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Paisley. You know what? A picnic at the park does sound good right now.
It really does. And what if we had a picnic at the ballpark? I think our sports anchor, Omar Martinez, would really enjoy a picnic at Globe Life Field. What do you think, Omar?
It was a picnic at the park for the Rangers yesterday. I'll have more on last night's game when we get back from the break.
Did you know you have access to video equipment like DVDs, video games, and cameras? That's right, you do. Come on down to Chilton Library and fulfill your media dream. Located on the bottom floor next to the student sculpture. Hope to see you there soon.
Hey girl, you know you look good. I like the way you move and groove. I'm not sure.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
What does Talents do?
So I am the Vice President of External Relations for Talents. That means that I basically oversee all the external committees. Our external committees entail our Model A, it's a Mean Green Machine. So they bring it to football games especially, so every game it's kind of there, every home game. The Model A is like a symbol of UNC pride, and it's a big tradition that we are so lucky to uphold and maintain. When people look at it, they see it, and they're like, oh, that's the Mean Green Machine. There must be a game today or something to ramp up school spirit for basketball, softball, volleyball, any of those things. We have amazing teams, so we just want to show school spirit for them. Bonfire Committee, which is in charge of putting together the bonfire every year for homecoming. It's kind of just a whole semester-long process up until Build Week that we have to put together and oversee and make sure safety regulations are followed and risk management is taken care of. Cannon Crew, which oversees and takes care of the cannon. They fire it at games, they take it to special occasions.
Game 7, the best words in all of sports as the Houston Astros and Texas Rangers fight in a winner-go-home game later tonight in Minute Maid Park. But how did we get here? So far, no home team has won a game at home, and that all started last week when the Rangers took both Game 1 and 2 on the road. The Astros answered back as they went on to win all 3 games here in Globe Life to take a 3-2 series lead. The Rangers answered back in dominating fashion as they destroyed the Astros 9-2 in Game 6. You would think that these games played out peacefully and drama-free, but this is Texas we're talking here. Everything is bigger, including the rivalries, from the benches clearing to a gut-wrenching clutch 3-run slam from Altuve to a monster grand slam by Adolis Garcia. This series has had it all. And if we learned anything about these past 2 games, is that tonight will be one for the history books. Now we go east on I-20 to the state of Louisiana as our Mean Green take on the now number 23 ranked Green Wave down in Tulane. This was UNT's 3rd conference game of the season. With a conference record of 1-1, a win in New Orleans would have been great for UNT's position in the AAC. And things were not looking good early as they were shut out in the first half, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Facing a 21-point deficit, the Mean Green offense picking up their own touchdown trail in the 3rd to bring them within 1 score. A Chandler Rogers touchdown to Landon Sides evens the game early in the 4th, but it's Tulane that comes out victorious at the end as they win 35-28. While this loss stings, it's great to see that UNT can be competitive with the big dogs, or in this case, big waves. And from football to the other football, we switch gears to the latest drama over the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. The United States' 2nd largest city is in danger of not being a host for the tournament after ESPN announced on Wednesday that FIFA will not allow the 2026 World Cup to be played in SoFi Stadium. Stan Kroenke, the owner of the stadium, is reportedly unhappy about the deal, including the money distribution between FIFA, the city, and the stadium. Kroenke is also not budging on FIFA's request to accommodate SoFi to soccer standards, which would require the removal of stands and luxury boxes. Right now, it's not looking good for the City of Angels. That's all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the studio.
The animals at the London Zoo are getting into the Halloween spirit. Okapis went foraging through pumpkins for treats, and zookeepers stuffed gourds with their favorite snacks. 3 Galapagos tortoises, Polly, Dolly, and Priscilla, also joined in on the ghoulish fun. 2 tiger teens, Zach and Crispin, smelled their way to a cinnamon and nutmeg-scented pile of pumpkins.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.